This is a wonderful day. It's kicking off a very, very new and modern approach for Hosea Feed the Hungry to move forward into the 21st century with regards to another generation.
To be here to celebrate milestones and accomplishments of this great institution that has such a phenomenal legacy with such great leadership, you have to stop what you're doing, whatever it is, and avail yourself to be in the midst. And so I would be no other place than right here with Hosea Feed the Hungry this morning to talk about good news. The economic times that we face have left no one untouched. You were only a generation away or a heartbeat away from someone who has been foreclosed on, someone who has lost their job, someone who has or feels that they no longer have hope. My experience is every time I call Hosea Feed the Hungry, hope restored. If you under the sound of my voice are not in need now, give yourself a little bit more life. Just a little bit more life. And you will find yourself on the butt end of a circumstance where you too have no hope. And you can call Hosea Feed the Hungry.
1970 up until today, the Hosea Williams Feed the Hungry Homeless Program has had a tremendous impact on Atlanta and this region.
Yes.
And has become a model for other homeless programs in the country. There's absolutely no way we can ever turn our back on this work. This is Hosea Williams' legacy. This is the part of the legacy that most people don't want to get involved in because it requires great sacrifice. It requires a lot of work. This is about getting in the trenches and serving the least of these. It's an indictment on all of us collectively that we have allowed the Hosea Feed the Hungry program to go without adequate resources. Black elected officials, white elected officials, the business community, the clergy, we've got to step up to the plate.
Yes.
And hit some home runs so that we can bring the
every elected official under my voice to contact Hosea Williams and do what I'm going to do right now. I know for a fact that I have excess funds in my expense account. Mm-hmm. So I'm committing today, I'm committing $1,000 to Hosea Feed the Hungry today. Now, those of you under the sound of my voice, I would challenge you to do a proper accounting of your books and see if you've got the resources to give today.
I'm going to bring a check of $1,000 from the Georgia Association of Black Elected.
I just want to say to everybody here this morning that Mr. Afema Omalami is the creator. He is the progenitor. He is the one that has that sort of something out of nothing mentality, so that if the need is presented, he will create the program to meet the need.
We're going forward. Keep your eyes on the prize. Forward. Helping the people. Doesn't matter what all the rest of this stuff is. So I'm very thankful that this organization is focused like that. Everybody's here is focused about moving ahead. We can't get bogged down in nothing. It's serving those children, the people, loving on the widows and the orphans, doing what we were asked to do as people of faith. That's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Yes, it is.
And it's so addictive. Ms. O said, where are you going this Saturday morning? I'm going for the community giveaway because I gotta do it. That monkey is on my back and I love doing it. And I'm glad I'm surrounded with people like that. That's really all who I can move with. I can't move with folks who don't even move with that kind of passion and power. And I thank God He's handpicked these folks that's with me, who go with me, who are with me in those trenches like that. Miss Miriam Ledesma is the one who has been guiding the Back to School Jamboree.
Today is a day that is a groundbreaking day for Hosea Feed the Hungry. And I'd just like to talk about the Back to School Jamboree, which is going to take place on July the 21st at Turner Field. There, we will be trying to give 3,500 children book bags, school supplies, clothing, so that they can go back to school and be equal to their peers, so they will not be subjected to bullying, because we know how prevalent it is.
I was like got put out my apartment, and
I was calling everybody. And when nobody helped me, and on this piece of paper, well, Jose, Jose Feed the Hungry down there. So I just kept calling everybody else, So God said, call Jose. And I did. And, by the grace of God, they said, okay, come on. They ain't saying no word. And they've been helping me ever since, and if it hadn't been for them, ain't no telling where I'd be today.
We help, well over 4,000 individuals a year by providing food pantry services, clothing, rental assistance, utility assistance, disaster relief assistance, and also case management services. And the clients that have spoken to you today, as Mr. Carlton will also speak to you about, is going to be a testimony as to the fire and the hope that still exists in this organization. So Carlton, why don't you talk a little bit more how we've been able to serve you?
First of all, I'd like to give honor to Jehovah God, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, to Reverend Mr. Hosea Williams, Mr. and Mrs. Omalani, and the family here at Hosea Feed the Hungry, because they really care about their community. They care about people of all colors, walks of life. And back in February, I was unable to pay my rent, and I didn't have any food for my family. I had an interview that day, but I still came. I was able to get the help that I needed, assistance that I needed from Hosea, and still make it to my interview on time. So God was with me, and He's still with me, and He's still with Hosea's organization. So I pray that God will continue to be with Hosea's work, and they're doing the work that Jesus did when He was on the earth, similar to taking care of those who that are poor and without, that can't provide for themselves. And I thank God for Hosea Feed the Hungry.
Popular entertainers Clifford T.I. Harris and Christopher Ludacris Bridges are lending their support to kick off the Hosea Feed the Hungry and Homeless online social media site for Hosea.org. It's the 21st century. People passionate about a cause are eager to bring social change through social media. Hosea and 4, that's the number 4, Hosea, HOSEA.org, will utilize social media in several ways, including 1, making it easier for those who utilize the internet to give and see the immediate results of their sharing by seeing the stories of the families we serve. So as soon as they give, they will see stories that very second of where their money's going, of where the families are that they are serving. They won't have to wonder about that. 2, we're going to promote our offline events, of which we have several during the year, at least 16, on social media to increase branding and community participation. 3, we're going to offer volunteer opportunities that will engage our volunteers and our donors and our clients and other supporters all together in one big community through social media. So we'll be able to talk to each other online like never before. You can imagine the great army that will build. We will also host social media collective events like today's Tweet Up Party. People are tweeting in different cities in different states right now about this event, and they're not even in Georgia or the southern region. We will connect our vast community of supporters with each other and more effectively utilize their skills and talents to support the sustainability for the organization. The forhosea.org social media campaign will increase visibility for our year-round programs, but will immediately focus on our annual Tools for Schools Back to School Jamboree. Additionally, yesterday, we forged a partnership with the Georgia Department of Labor and a national organization called Convoy of Hope, also based on Mr. Desma and Mr. Omalami's seeking. On Labor Day, September the 3rd, we will, for the first time in the state of Georgia, host an event that will both provide a job resource fair, job readiness counseling. Convoy of Hope will donate enough groceries for 1,500 families to get 2 bags apiece, all free of charge. Hosea.org will be specifically geared to talk about these programs. That event is geared for unemployed Georgians and features the things that I mentioned. But no longer do you have to be unemployed and hungry. Nobody in the city ever has to be hungry if they can just get here. Because the faster we give out the food, the quicker it comes in. So we always have a supply of food. We will always be able to feed hungry children. With your support, children will never go hungry. This last fiscal year was a great one for Hosea, and this coming year will be even better. The end of the year audits reflected 80% of our income supported programs, while only 20% went for admin. That programming brought hope and caring love to thousands who found themselves at the end of the rope. One lady said to one of our counselors, "I just don't want to be a statistic." And that really touched me. She just didn't want to be a statistic. But she found herself here and had no way to care for her family. Without, this is called the Hosea Feed the Hungry Families in Care Crisis Center. And without hope or an avenue to feed their children, these families will be truly devastated. Was their situation self-inflicted? Certainly not. Our programming was expanded to include 2 new initiatives for healthy living. Kaiser Permanente now allows us to give not only non-perishable items but fresh produce to over 4,000 families a year through its Fresh Produce for Families program. And many of these families live in food deserts where you can't even buy fresh produce. You can't even find it. And now they can eat healthier. And through Aetna, we're able to hold weekly classes in nutrition and weight loss. Do people want to be hungry and poor? Certainly not. The fact that we saved 152 families from homelessness and a lack of light and heat through our homeless prevention and financial assistance programs meant the difference in children sleeping in mats on the floor and sleeping in their own homes. The 7,200 persons served through our homeless outreach programs, these people live outside here in the city of Atlanta. These days, we cannot afford to even get sick in our community. So through our community giveaways, which creates an oasis in the desert of lack of fresh fruits and vegetables, Hosea's community giveaways provided 1,165 people with fresh produce kits. We also fed and served a documented 22,323 hot plates of food at our 42nd year of offering the communities of this city holiday festivals of service, which maxed out our staff and volunteers' working hours. These numbers are verified through intake conducted by our Human Services Department. We have the paperwork to prove the numbers. Not only do we see the chronically homeless, and then there's that layer of transitional homeless, because the homeless are not static, they're very transitory. And then, Tyrone, you have that regular, needy, poor population that can't get a job. But on top of that, now we're seeing the unemployed who are telling us last year I was making $100,000 a year. Now I'm here in your line.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different group of people that we're serving on top of all those other layers of needy people. So we have expanded our programs to include the addition of free cell phones, a quarterly medical clinic offering chiropractic services and HIV screening. And as you can see, the logistics alone of providing such miracle year equals great management, equals strategic and long-range planning, and equals fiscal accountability, because we couldn't do all this if we were confused. 2012 to 2013 is another fiscal year, and we will be there again for those who need us, because they're the most important reason we can think of for living. Serving them, caring for them, crying with them, and seeing hopelessness and shame turn to hope and dignity. That's the truth about Hosea Feed the Hungry. From 1970 to 2012, with excellent service in desperate times. We stand as a light on the hill, saying, "Come and eat," those without money to pay, and find the love of God in a weary land.